Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Shatani. I was saying this morning that we shouldn't think of the Guru as just a figure whose picture we stick on the wall. And we may think that, well, what else can we do with Srila Prabhupada? We have his picture, and how else can we be with Srila Prabhupada? We were quoting the other night, who reasons ill who tells that Vaishnavas die when thou art living still and sound. A Vaishnav dies to live, and living tries to spread the holy name around. Srila Prabhupada's presence and guidance in our lives is a vital factor in our Krishna conscious existence. Tumara Karuna Shah, your mercy is all that I am made of. We're all living on Srila Prabhupada's mercy. We have no hope for attaining Krishna without the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Of course, those who are God, or those who are disciples and nephews and nieces, God nephews and God nieces, they also have their Guru who is a disciple of Prabhupada. And every Guru is a link in the parampara which goes up to Krishna. But especially for us in the Western countries, Srila Prabhupada's presence in our lives is, like I said, it's a vital factor. You see the parampara coming down to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 6 Goswamis, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Narottam Das, and like this. The parampara is traced like this. But in our case, if that name in the list, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, wasn't there, then we wouldn't be here either. Srila Prabhupada was empowered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to preach Krishna consciousness in the Western world. And it's not that Srila Prabhupada has left our physical presence and therefore his mercy is no longer available. Of course, those who are direct disciples of Srila Prabhupada, we're very fortunate to see him personally, to personally hear him, and some got the chance to perform personal services, some very extensively. But because Srila Prabhupada is a fully spiritual figure, it's not that his passing away means that he has actually gone away. He taught us that we are spiritual beings, and he gave us the process to realize that. And as much as we can realize that, we can realize that Srila Prabhupada is available to us now. Srila Prabhupada is as available to us as we want him to be, as we want him to be available to us. We have Srila Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada said, if you want to know me, read my books. That instruction hasn't changed after Prabhupada's departure. Once, his famous incident, Srila Prabhupada was asked by a journalist, what will happen to this movement after you die? Srila Prabhupada said, I will never die. I will live forever in my books. So Srila Prabhupada's books, they are Srila Prabhupada. The best way to associate with any spiritual personality, or actually the only real way to associate with him, is through the method of hearing. Many people ask, did you see Srila Prabhupada? So what is seeing Srila Prabhupada? Is it some impression on the retina? Actual seeing is by hearing his instructions. Tikshitapata is mentioned in Bhagavatam. Seeing by hearing. So many people saw Srila Prabhupada. His family members saw him. The sailors on the Jaladuta ship saw him. Down and outs in New York, when Prabhupada was in the Bowery, they saw him. Srila Prabhupada was constantly speaking Krishna Katha. But most people who saw him through their eyes and through their preconceptions. So they classified him Old Indian Swami. Those who classified him as thus, they couldn't hear him. Again, some sound waves may have entered their ears, but those who were not fortunate enough that their hearts were penetrated by that transcendental sound vibration, they thought of him merely as another Indian Swami and went on with their day-to-day business of preparing to go to heaven. So who has seen Srila Prabhupada? You have all seen Srila Prabhupada by hearing his instructions. As much as we take Srila Prabhupada's instructions to heart and practice them in our lives, at that much we are seeing Srila Prabhupada. And we will see him more and more. As Srila Prabhupada said about his own Guru Maharaj, he was asked, how could you go to America alone? Srila Prabhupada said, I was never alone. And Guru Maharaj was always with me. Sometimes his godbrothers used to criticize, why don't you go to visit, when you come to Mayapur, they would say to him, well, why don't you go to the Samadhi of your Guru Maharaj? Not actually directly, but behind his back. So Prabhupada addressed this, he discussed this point by saying that my Guru Maharaj is always with me, I'm not separated from him. Because Prabhupada's life was one with the instructions of his Guru Maharaj, he was in a compact, very tightly bound up with him. Prabhupada fully lived by the injunction, Guru Mukha Padma Vaka Chitete Karya Aikya Arna Kariha Manayasha. Make the instructions of your spiritual master one with your heart and do not desire anything else. So we're singing this every day in glorification of Srila Prabhupada. And as much as we actually take that to heart, we will find that we are with Srila Prabhupada. And that Srila Prabhupada is with us. It can be very heavy. It can be difficult to bear the weight of Guru's instructions. But if we do so, we shall find that by His mercy, we are advancing day by day in Krishna consciousness. By hearing the anecdotes of Srila Prabhupada, we can understand what it means to be a pure devotee. So one adjective which is suitable for a pure devotee is intense. No, it's not intense. Concentrated. I was told there's no such word in Russian. Concentrated, serious, grave, it encapsulates all these focus. So the word in Sanskrit is Tibra Bhakti. So to actually accept the instruction may be difficult, but if we do so, we'll find that by the power of that instruction, all our material attachments are being burned away. And by His mercy, Krishna is becoming manifest in our hearts. So let us think individually and collectively how we can bring Srila Prabhupada to Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Finland, all these places. Wouldn't it be wonderful to have Srila Prabhupada in Lithuania? Wouldn't you like to have Srila Prabhupada here? He is here. Certainly when there is chanting and dancing with great joy of the pure-hearted devotees, then Srila Prabhupada is certainly here. If he wasn't here, then it would not be possible that this chanting and dancing could take place. So we want to bring Srila Prabhupada into our lives and into the lives of all the people of these countries more and more and more and more. Now, one devotee was asking the question the other day that during the festival we feel some inspiration, then after some time we run down again. But why not take this festival as a springboard to go up and up and up and up and never come down again, but stay high forever. That we can do, as Srila Prabhupada once said, that you just take a hold of the end of my dhoti and I'll carry you back to Godhead. Take Srila Prabhupada's instructions in our lives very seriously. But that will require a group effort. We all have to help each other to remember that we're supposed to be serving Srila Prabhupada, because Maya is always telling us that we're not supposed to be serving Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada, he would think big, just like building this temple in Moscow. It's impossible. There's no chance of building a big temple for Krishna in the center of Moscow. It's a foolish idea. Who would think of such a thing? So our minds might think. But by the mercy of Krishna, Toma Kripai Ashambhav Shambhav Hoy, as Prabhupada said when he came on the ship to America, there's no hope of preaching Krishna consciousness in America. Everyone told that why are you going to preach, what's this, preaching Krishna consciousness in America? It's a ridiculous idea. But Prabhupada had faith that by the grace, by the mercy of his spiritual master, that which is impossible will become possible. So like this, these projects, building a temple in the heart, big temple for Krishna in the center of Moscow, which is completely impossible by any material calculation. But it's already built. Just we have to do a little work. As Prabhupada has kindly given us various services to do, by which we'll have to sweat blood to effect these projects. But that sweating blood is the price to attain the mercy of Guru Krishna. So I can request all the followers of Srila Prabhupada in these countries to come together and think, how can we best serve Srila Prabhupada? How can we bring Srila Prabhupada into our lives more and more? Why don't all the people of Lithuania, why aren't they all chanting Jai Srila Prabhupada? What's wrong with them? The greatest spiritual figure in history has come and they don't even know about it. And simply by his mercy we can very easily get out of this stinking material world and go to Krishna. But people don't even know. So let us all come together and make plans how we can best glorify Srila Prabhupada and let everyone avail of his gifts. Let's fill these all the homes with Prabhupada's books. We have to have all the... Prabhupada wanted his books translated in all the languages. It is the prime duty of the leaders to get these books translated and distributed. That will please Srila Prabhupada. It is, we should be thinking how to bring hundreds, thousands, the whole country to Krishna consciousness. So this is my request, that you all come together and make plans how to increase this Krishna consciousness more and more and more and more. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has sent you here. You are the first devotees in these countries. So he has chosen you to continue the work of Srila Prabhupada by spreading Krishna consciousness in these countries. So let us take up with full focus and concentration the mission of Srila Prabhupada to save the conditioned souls. To save them. Jai Srila Prabhupada.